Hello, everyone. I am Roxy Rascal. I am very tired. But you know what I decided to do when I'm tired? Record a tier list of me looking at every single cache in Victory Road and see how they are competitively, because what else would you do with your time? But yeah, so that's what I've decided to do. As you can see, we have our tiers in the lovely box there. Uh, we have the Keshin. I've cropped it so that I have that is the game like live that I'm just looking at. So it's easy to look at what everything can do, what the Keshin can do. And as for the tiers, we have can maybe rival Awakenings, as we all know. Awakenings are easily the best hyper move in the game, so some of these could be good enough to rival Awakenings. I think there are some pretty solid use cases, are ones that probably would get use a lot more if Awakenings weren't so busted. Has a niche is like for off-meta teams such as like Bond or Breach or whatever. They really benefit. They help out that play style a bit more. Supports gimmicks badly is a similar thing, but they support the gimmick in a way that is like a like Breach or Bond or whatever in a way that isn't too good, or just the ability itself isn't too useful. Black synergy is going to be ones that have bad synergy between their move and their Keshin move and what their passive actually brings, and then scramble tiers for anything scramble related, which is automatically just don't use that Keshin pretty much. A quick note is I will be judging them without opportunity cost being taken into effect, as in like yes, obviously you're not going to be running 9 times out of 10 a goalkeeper Keshin because you have keeper's grit. You run keeper's grit. But I'm just looking at it in a case of at its role of being a defense or goalkeeper or whatever else Keshin. That is what it is going to be. I'm going to be looking at in terms of its viability, not actually in terms of it against other stuff. It's in a vacuum essentially of how good it is, and I'm going to be going in order in the spirit market. And the tier list, unfortunately, I find is does not have them in that order, so I will be perhaps sifting around a bit to try to match the image to the one on the tier list. But first off, we have Brynhildr. Brynhildr gives nearby players castle wall defense plus 10, gives you 100 defense forest block. That's not bad, but nearby players is always kind of a bit iffy because you're relying on it buffing other people. I think at least could help against like they use the Keshin to what do you call it? You use the Keshin to win a focus battle. You have 30 seconds where if they manage to get the ball back, go for attack, you have a 10% stronger castle wall defense, but I still don't really know how good that is. I'll put it in. I'll put Brynhildr in Hazen. I think there's better things that you're usually wanting your defense Keshins to be. Atlas, Defender of Earth, first goalkeeper Keshin. Unfortunately, already gets taken down a notch because it has an 85 power Keshin move rather than a 100 one. Save rate plus 5 is not super good. Like plus 5 save is how much is that really gonna help you out? I think it's not as it still does its job. I think it goes into support this goes into support gimmicks badly. Right now I have to do my first time of where the flip is Titania. There he is. Now every time I do this I have to flip and check if my thing's aligned. Okay, good. Alright. Pegasus. Good old classic Pegasus. Gives you 100 wind dribble, move and Pegasus bolt, and then lets you buff your passes. I don't know too much about Bond because no one plays it. And I haven't played it myself because I've focused more on Breach. I want to do it at some point. I want to make a bond team just to understand the playstyle a bit better. But yeah, uh, I also feel like I want my bond Keshin to be a shoot one, maybe. There's also the thing, like, if you're bond, you're not really wanting to get in focus battles. I guess like the idea is like you just pass this around your Pegasus user. Then if they get into a fight, you have Pegasus built to get past and save the thing. I'll put it, I'll put it in has a niche. Pegasus, you have a niche. Great, now I have to up and find there. Pegasus. Congratulations. Every time I have to also go back into Victory Road. Alright, Maestro. Atomic Harmonic is a 85 shot. I think the only time I'm really fine with a Keshin move being 85 is shots. Because I think like an 85 shot's still good. If I'm using a because like you can, you're mostly like let's say you use your Keshin and you activate it. You get to get into a position where you can shoot. And then you have this shot you can use after, and it doesn't really matter the cooldown because you're probably only using it once before the Keshin goes away, and by the time you have the Keshin again to use, the cooldown will be over and stuff, and yada yada yada. So I think it's fine having a slightly weaker shot. There is, I think, one that is a bit but we'll get to that one in particular. I think we all know what Keshin that is, but yeah, for Maestro gives player same element nearby own focus attack plus and defend plus 10. It's alright. I mean, nearby again is always kind of meh. You know what, we're gonna put a middling tier. No. Put a middling tier here. Gonna have to flip it. Rearrange this, don't I? Good job, me. You do this and then you immediately ruin it by adding in a new tier. You know what? I'm actually not going to. I'm going to just make middling this tier. Because I think that also works for that, but yeah. Middling is Maestro is middling. For now, these aren't ordered. Maybe they become ordered later. Lancelot. Different element nearby at own shot 10 gives you 100 attack. I say that's pretty. To me, that sounds like I need to flip. Yeah, be careful with my mouse. That sounds like a pretty solid use case. If you're close to someone, you get a plus, essentially an 110 attack Keshin shot. That's nice. I like that. Sounds pretty good to me. Right. Okay, there we go. Musashi. Name a hunt, but this time for 100. It's even better because you just have to be on the opposite side of the pitch. You essentially always have an 110 power attack shot. I think that probably can maybe rival Awakenings. So we're putting, I think, just the reliability of that is much better. Puts Musashi into a much better position than Lancelot, just because you don't have to even have someone nearby. You can be on your own and you can just go through. Sickle Weasel. Oh, okay, we have our first scramble tier. Yeah. Your 100 wind, air dribble, scramble on your own side, that's not good. Per Sickle Weasel. What? My controller does not want to work half the time I have it. Maybe I just moved to my keyboard. Thunderbird. Oh, okay, we have more scrambled here. Awesome, cool. We're glad we can just immediately end this conversation. Goliath. Gives more save rate, but it's slightly better just because it has a 100 defense wind defense move rather than an 85 one that Atlas has. Some of these will go pretty fast. I think it still goes middling though. Trickster. This has a niche, and the niche is breach teams, which is why I'm trying to currently get Trickster for my own team, because I want that extra 10 breach rate, please. Pretty nice to have that on a breach team. Dragon Storm on Dragoon. This is pretty solid defense. I'd say this is pretty solid use cases. Think at some point we're going to get to a meta where people will preemptively Keshin to get an advantage against someone who's already activated their hyper move and they're coming towards them, so you activate your own in return instead of trying to activate it in the match, in the focus battle, because then you're just getting outstatted by them. So at least here you can force them to use tension or something if they've all. It's a kind of like the niche scenario, but there's situations where it happens where someone activates their hyper mode before, like around the midfield, they dash towards you because they're super fast, and then you try to get into a focus battle with their improved stats, and then you can use this. You can use your own you can get the 40% attack and defense and the extra 20% own focus, and have 100 Keshin block move, 100 power Keshin block move. I think I like that. Maybe I'm just talking on my butt, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm putting in pretty solid use case right now, because even then, flipping plus 20% own focus is pretty handy, I think. Corvus. This is a niche. I mean, even if you activate it, pretty much just guaranteed. I'd say it's just like, this is very good for, obviously, for what do you call it? Words are hard. For rough play teams, especially in the current patch, because they recently obviously nerfed rough play. By every time you do a rough play action, your fall rate increases. So getting this will be helpful for that. Imagine stacking this with like a minus fall rate tactic, and you're just fine. You're grand for just going around. The only downside, of course, is since you get no speed boost from activating your Keshin, you don't benefit from that. But like, you could put this on like anyone. You could like put this on a midfielder and just whatever. But yeah. It has a niche. White Pawn. Castle Wall benefit. Where did I put the other Castle Wall one? Put that in has a niche. I think this is middling, because at least that's nearby. This is only for once you're also your element. I think it actually probably goes lack synergy. I mean, it could be worse. You could activate this on defense. You could dribble up a bit, get caught out, and then you have an 85 dribble move. It allows you to do that also on a character, like put this on like maybe like a fullback who doesn't have a dribble move, so you can just maximize block move or something, and then you just have a Keshin dribble in the back. But still, I think the passive really lets us down. So that's definitely lower end of middling, but I don't think for now I'm going to order these. Scramjet. Scramjet goes to Scramble. That's pretty quick. Scramble passes are bad, not real. This goes into the same tier. This is pretty much the same as Musashi. Poseidon lets you get an opposition half. You get own shot plus 10%. That's obviously really handy. Cool. This is a decent enough, like, supporting one, I think. I'd rather, like, it kind of obviously sucks because you don't get AP from activating goalkeeper Keshins, which is the main reason why they don't really get used. But I mean, like, who doesn't like extra free tension, you know? So I'll put it in as a niche, I guess. Who knows, maybe pure tension teams run this. No one ever would play pure tension team at the current year. This is like Lancelot, but stronger. Well, it's the same element, so Lancelot was Lancelot a different element? Yeah, it's different elements. Yeah, you do have to run. You have to run second uh, a second for player near you who is the same element. But if you do that, I mean, plus 20% is not for free. Is nothing to sneeze at all. So I'll put it in has a niche. I think a lot of them just end up having a niche. Who knows? All right. Another thing that does the same thing. Save rate, 100 wind defense. At least it's like a different element for guessing, but it really matter. I think it just also goes into middling. White Knight. 85 fountain shot, and it also buffs your what do you call it? Your different elements focus, which is nice. Good team-wide buff. Always love to see it. I think that's pretty solid. Global team-wide buff, 10% to anyone who's not your type. I like that. Maybe has a niche. I think has a niche is fair. I think pretty solid use cases are like, yeah, I would absolutely use this. I think it's just a bit. There's better ones that do something similar to. You know what? I think with that, because there's better ones that do something similar to it, I think you just put it into middling because there's no reason when there's some other ones that come up that can do much better. For that. Anyway, Plasma Shadow Defense is one of those things because it just guarantees everyone, no matter what element they are, gets the defense bonuses. I like that. I think that goes into has a niche. So we're like matched up now with the thing. It's just weird order at the start. Lot. Similar thing. I think this. If we put Gigantus has a niche, I think a lot also gets has a niche. Phantasma. Nearby always is unfortunate, but I mean this is like. Does nearby apply to you? I don't actually know if nearby means it also applies to you. Because if not, I think that's pretty bad. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't. This also the situation I don't like about this is you activate this. I mean, maybe it's like a good like fullback one. It's a good like fullback Keshin to have. Similar thing to the White Pawn. Where did I put White Pawn? I put White Pawn in mid lane. Yeah, but I think what was White Pawn's passive? It was White Pawn's passive was the issue because it's Castle Wall. I think this goes into as a niche, I guess. You could maybe find a reason to use this. Gargantua, Bond. This is as a niche as well. You can you can activate this when you see it, and then you can throw out and start bonding. Who knows? Maybe that's the play. For Bond teams. Bond teams pick up Gargantua or something if you want to lose even more because you don't have Keeper's Grid. They need to buff goalkeeper Keshins. Apollo. I mean, team-wide, but this is obviously going to be, I'd say, pretty solid use cases. You're essentially giving all your forwards, because I imagine you're putting this under forwards, an extra 10% attack whenever it's active. Like, that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, definitely, you would use this in, like, if you have, like, a 3 forward. Maybe you play this on, like, one of the ones with, like, 5 or 6 midfielders, and then you put on the midfielders, and your midfielders just shoot really strong. Just have really strong, like, midfielders. There's some kind of strategy there, maybe. I like this though. I think it's pretty good. Plus 100 attack, Keshin shot. Yes. Oh, inside. Okay, there we go. This will eventually just start being too tall for this to fit, but whatever. Neptune. Yeah. I mean, look at that. All input get a 15% owned focus attack defense plus 100 attack. I mean, that's really good, like offensive midfielder. I've been trying to get this on my own team. I'd say pretty solid use cases in that. Not as good as Neptune, because... not Neptune, Poseidon, but yeah. I think it's still really good. I keep clicking the wrong thing. Searcher. There's the issue. There's the one I was talking about before. Let's give a Keshin move 70 power. This goes to Lax Energy. Yeah, kind of bad. I'll rename it from Lax Energy to kind of bad. But pretty bad, even. Like, there's no reason to use this. Just use another Keshin. You 70 attack on your Keshin attack. White King, it's the same thing as the other ones that do that on goalkeepers. Goalkeeper ones, unfortunately, seem pretty limited on what you can give them passive-wise. White Queen is defensive. I mean, it's a similar thing to... Yeah, I think that can go there. It's like a similar thing to what White Pawn was. White Rook, however, gives you a defense move and also buffs your castle wall. You can use this in like a center back, theoretically. You wouldn't, because Ironclad Guardian gives you plus 30% castle wall strength. Does it? I'm going to double check before I spread misinformation online, because if they do that, they don't do nice things to you. You shouldn't spread misinformation online. Yeah, no, castle wall. You get own castle wall 30 plus 30% on Ironclad Guardian just by activating it. So this is redundant. But like in terms of like, again, we're looking at this in terms of a vacuum without Ironclad. It's still pretty middling because you have to have someone nearby you. That's the same element. Yeah. Scrambled here for White Bishop. Black Butcher. This also goes into maybe Rival Awakenings. Because, again, plus 10... Oh, thanks. Because of, obviously, plus 10 for the same position. Awesome. For the same reasons we discussed before. Pretty good. Rabbi. Unfortunately goes into Scrambled here. Sorry, Faerun. Please get a better Keshin next time. Pendragon is Void and Breach Rate. This goes into has a niche for that. Void is always good. I want this because I want my Void. I want to put this on my Breach team that I've made. Videos of that team on competitive rank will be coming soon. It is now actually finished and playable. I was actually playing some games on it earlier, but then you don't want to play Inazuma 11 when you haven't slept and in the like 9 a.m. Jag Warrior. It's pretty middling. You need someone that's nearby you, the same element. There's better stuff for that. It's not bad at least, but it's pretty middling for sure. Dang it. You know, yeah, honestly, I might just do this for now. Can I like? Nope. I wish there was a way that I could like get this all in. I'm just gonna add. Don't mess with what you had. Then you mess everything up. Yeah, well, let's leave it at that for now. You can like scroll up or down. You've been following along if you're at this point. Feng Huang. But yeah, Scrambled here. Goodbye. You go Scrambled here. I think we can keep it down here because it's more likely stuff is going to be here rather than being in maybe Rival Awakenings. No, I don't want to actually buy it. Athena is Bond, so has a niche, I guess, in your Bond teams. At least you could like Bond to you can like Bond. You can activate this, start passing it around, then pass it back to the Athena user, and then you have your giga powerful Athena assault. I want to do Bond because I think there's just some really interesting strategies you could do, but I know who's also really bad and really reliant on tactics. Opposition's half focus. It's not bad. It's pretty good midfielder. Weird that it's got Gamma, because Gamma I thought was always more striker, or maybe is more of a midfielder. It's I think it's pretty solid use cases. Is it though? Because you're going again. I think it has a niche because I think for pretty solid use cases, like the issue is you are activating this if you're in midfield, and then you get your buff, and then you ideally would want your big focus advantage to, you know, carry you through, and then with your 15% focus advantage, and then like you'd hope with at least like a weaker Hisatsu move that you have that's offense, you can just get past them with the buff. You don't need a 100 attack one. I think that's the issue. Great. Zodiac. It's has a niche. It's rough play team again. Rough play ones are all seem to be flipping. There we go. This is slightly more like it. Or a good castle wall one. Just nearby players. You're gonna have your players nearby. Maybe this user, so I could see it. Because that means you can like put this on like maybe like a defensive midfielder, and then if things go wrong, you have the buff near them, and your defenders, your castle wall defenders still have Ironclad Guardian to have on or whatever. I think it maybe just be has a nice, because I think like at the end of the day, you'd still rather use your hyper mode point on the Ironclad Guardian. So yeah, we'll put on has a niche there. This is bad. Tension breach cost is not good because that just means that like whenever you reach someone, it lowers the amount of tension that uses. It's not good. You don't care. Different element nearby. Also, it's at 85 one, whatever. Different element. I mean, this one's at least better than the other different element ones because those ones were like plus 10 only. This is a plus 20. Has a niche, sure. Atlanticus. Atlanticus is the same thing. Tension breach cost. It goes in there. Lovers. This is a good reason why Mare is pretty common. I mean, besides her giga stats and being justice, I mean, a free team focus 10% is pretty nice. I'd say I'd say this can maybe rival Awakenings. We've seen it on teams. Like, Mare gets picked a lot, obviously. She is meta. Yeah. Good for her. Good for Mare. You made it. You made it. Awesome. And then Geras is the opposite. For Lover's Meal. It's still pretty good, yeah. There's some better ones, I think, actually. So, well, I'll put it there because I think there is some slightly better ones. We have next Loverette. I didn't know existed. Oh, this is the yeah. I mean, it's has a niche. It's similar stuff, but I think there's like one other goalkeeper one I already forgot who had the same passive. That different tension breach cost. Team tension breach cost. Team tension. It just has a different symbol. It's the exact same word. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's pretty bad then because of that. That's middling. Because hey, it gives you. At least it's on an attacking one, I guess. Wyvern. Yeah, it's can rival Awakenings for the same reason. It's plus 10 attack to all your strikers or whoever you see in position. Yeah, it's middling. Different element nearby. I mean, I'd say niche, sure. Because like it's different element nearby. It's kind of you're more likely to have a different element nearby you rather than the same element, and that is a very good amount of focus you're getting for that. Clear Bunny is same here. It joins all its brethren for that passive. Good for it. Entertainer also goes there because you see this a lot, especially on you see this on like defenders actually, and then you just have you pass out the midfielders, and then you just have you know, an extra free focus attack, which is handy. Warborg goes into pretty bad for all those reasons that we know of. Ignore the fact I have one. You can't even see it, but whatever. Victory Genie, pretty solid use case. Plus 20% down shot is nice. Meteor Fire Tornado Victory. Cool. I did a thumbs up, you can't see it. I do that a lot. Can't wait to get hand tracking in the year 2036 so people can see my thumbs up. Same element always is kind of unfortunate. Hey, at least it's on others. It's on you have an attack one. It's pretty middling. Sorry. Where did I put? What was? Great. Now I have to go check what the flip. I forgot the word Pegasus did to put it there. Okay, if I put that in has a niche, I'm putting this in has a niche. I have to go all the way back down to Arch Pegasus. Okay, I find it. It did not take me long at all. I clicked Griffin. I like Griffin. It's pretty good. Hey, everyone in the opposition of the hedge gets focus attack. Team focus attack 10 to defend. 10%. Yeah. Pretty good. Arthur is, I'd say, pretty solid use. Oh, I need to actually. Pretty solid use case, and Arthur also is pretty solid use case. It's like just a slightly worse. Okay, I have to roll down. Thanks. 7. It's a slightly worse one of the ones that are in Maybe Rival Awakenings. The honor. Me. I think this is kind of middling, unfortunately. Same element nearby as a defender's kind of not what you want. At least not bad. Great Genie. Sure, it goes into has a niche because the other ones. No, it goes into middling because that's where those other ones were as well. And we do have these ones. Nice. I mean, it's same thing as it's literally just Flamberge but with a different skin. Did I do these? Yeah, because I just did Amaterasu and Great Genie. Just the tier list is out of order again. Cool. Thanks. No, this should be there. That's where Griffin is. That's how I'm tired. And then Glenner is the other one. I'd say this is kind of worse off. I mean, it's better numbers, but I think this what you're using it for is worse off. Is what I want to get at. I'll put it in Hazanish. Eris is it's essentially these two. It's essentially Griffin and Glenner, but Direwolf, but you don't have a shot. You have a defense, and that kind of makes it worse. Cool. Okay, now I have to get through all the totems because there's 20 billion of these, and go back to the. Okay, we're back. Cool. We're back at. We're back to Keshins. That means we're like halfway through. Surely, smiley face. Own half. You get some focus. Look at that. Woohoo! And it's like the other ones. It's like bro, I can't remember, but it goes here because of that. Congratulations. Sandman, you go to Scramble Tier. Why are you bad? Was that even Citrus? It was. No, it wasn't. Do like searching of where everything is. I'm looking towards like that. Nope, it's not you. I got like black paint, I think that is. There you are, Sitcher. you have your niche. Congratulations. You can't even see what I'm looking at. No, I don't care. I don't want to buy it. Salmon, yeah, you go to Scrambled here. Congratulations, you're abysmal. Like, how do we make a breach? How do we make a breach Keshin worse? Oh, I know. We'll give it a Scramble passive. This is one that was added in a later update, remind you, by the way. They added this in a later update. When people do Scramble is bad. It's not like launch where you have an excuse. No, we've been playing the game and we know Scramble is bad. Why? You can't make Scramble a thing. Asura. Yeah, it has a niche, I guess. I mean, the number's good enough. I think it can go pretty solid use case. Plus, it's different element. These are all out of order now. I have to look for what they actually look like. I have to pay attention when I haven't slept, or barely slept at least. Metis. It's like pretty decent. I mean, you could use this. I think honestly, there's a good case to use this on like strike. I'm gonna put this in pretty solid use case. You put this on a striker to like close out a goal, and then you pretty much is just giving your midfielders and defenders a buff whenever the opposing team gets kickoff. I like this. I'm putting in pretty solid use case. Congratulations, Menace. Argentia goes into Scramble tier. Just sad because you get Icicle Road, but who cares? We have Chion for Icicle Road because it's a really cool Hazatsu. Ashtaroth is slightly worse. I'd say has a niche because it's essentially, I mean, own shot is basically just for same element is just not as good as different element, or especially not as good as opposing on the opposition side of the pitch. You just get a free 10%. I'd rather take that than require someone to be potentially near me. This is better than regular Pegasus, I'd say. I'd say you can use this. You can use this like center midfield, get up to attacking midfield. You use your own focus, and then you're in the zone. You get your big powerful punch. Keshin shot. Cool. Firebird. This is where you start getting the things that are like, these are just bad synergy. Why doesn't own half of pitch Keshin have a shot? That's where do you expect me to put this player? Like, is this like, I wouldn't put this on like a center mid because they're not helping. If I put this on like my center mid, I don't get a benefit when I'm dribbling into the opposition half with this after activating it. Cool. That's pretty bad. This is a lack of synergy. It's, you know, it's maybe like activated as like, it's like the similar thing. Sure, we'll put it in middling. It's like the similar thing as I just described, but it's not as good because where do you, like, this has to be like on an attacking midfielder, I guess, and you literally just scored with them, and then you get the benefit. It's such a micro scenario that I'm like, and I'm the one that described about flipping preemptively summoning your Keshin to beat a player who has used their hyper move already in a focus battle. Opposition's half 10. Yeah, I like it. Standard, pretty standard. Has a use case. Put this on your attacking midfielder, your striker. Cool. They get to you buff up your team. Sick. Use this on a fullback. Yeah, I like that. Because you activate it if you get the ball. You can dribble up a bit before you pass if you get into your thing. It's not as good as solid use case, but I think it has a niche. I have to look for Leon. There he is. Cool. Serena. Opposition's half. This is center mid material, you know. You can activate this. I did kind of trash, not trash, but I kind of downplayed Lycon for that. Okay, but Lycon's in Hazani, so you also get that, Serena. Congratulations. Also, you get bonus points because I'm pretty sure you have Terianthrope has a line with you. Tachyon. Opposition's half, own focus. It's the same. It's literally the same thing that we just discussed with Serena. It literally is just about finding where you are on the tier list now. Wonder how much of this video at this point is just me looking for wherever this person is in the tier list. Not this person in particular, but like a Keshin in the later half of this list. Qinglong. Dribble. Midfield, I guess. You're like, cool, you focus your nearby players. It's kind of whatever. Kind of, yeah, that's middling. That's quite literally the definition of middling. I have to find this stupid dragon. Not you. Not you, that's too light colored. I have that, like... Is this guy even here? Does he even go here? They have that one. They have like all the pawns. Black pawn, black king. I'm going to keep my eye out, and if we find him, we'll go middling. But for now, Qinglong, you get to stay away on account of I cannot find you. Baihu, I did see you before, and you go to scrambled here, buddy. Is that him? No, because he's like more feathery than that. And like it's like a darker blue. Can't see him, and you can't see him either. You can't point him out. Team position is good, but unfortunately you lose slightly bit for being not having an offensive a shoot Hisatsu. Sorry, Command. You still get pretty solid use cases, however. Congratulations. Like actually, like there. That's a good place for now. Edit. Do we zoom out now? Hold on. I'm gonna get my browser. Nope, that's the wrong button. Oh, you can see the side now. Watch out. Doing this on a website everyone knows about. Watch out, guys. Cool. And maybe you can flip and see where Qinglong is now. I still can't. No, I meant to put command in. I put someone completely else. There you go. Cool, we're cool. It goes here. Awesome. Oh. Anyway, Berserker. Castle Wall, Dragonstorm. That's kind of middling. Castle Wall plus Dragonstorm is getting... At least it's a good defensive one. But it's like, I don't know. This Kukulkan was one I was looking at just because of the tension gain is kind of cool. But I think I'll put it on Hazanish. Tension gain's always something everyone wants. Zook was one I was wanting to use on like defenders. Or like midfielders even. I think midfielder, yeah. Either way, I like it. I'll Hazanish though, because I definitely don't think it's as good as the other ones I've been playing up. Judge. Probably also middling. Just more castle wall stuff, you know. Trigger. Same thing. Cool, we're just getting all the guys who do castle wall stuff together. Good for them. This is just bad. Because you are a goalkeeper Keshin, and you buff nearby players with shot. What on earth were they thinking? This is also pretty bad. Maybe it's like, oh, I have more chance to get save, but I don't care. Save is such an unreliable thing. Breach at least is somewhat more reliable, but no. Because you're always going to be trying to use like the max damage, the max save, like unless you're using a roar curtain, you're always trying to just reduce as much damage taken as possible. It's like a 100 tension catches Atsu, and you're just that just goes against save, you know. This is the has a niche because it's the same bond thing we've talked about before. And veteran is the guy you get for this, for the required spirit for that guy. It's the stationer. Let's go, the stationer. The stationer has a niche. Congratulations. Yeah, that's slightly better than the other guy because he has Inferno Fist, because at least you're giving a benefit with Bond, and so you have a niche on your Bond team. A lot of Bond options for your Bond stuff. Speaking of, hi, we have more of them. Congratulations, Foxy, Mischief Maker, Daji. And same with you, Black King. Las Vega. This is bad because why are you putting own focus on a goalkeeper? What? Huh? Why? It's middling. Same with the other. Black Bishop. Oh, I would not have guessed. It's the same as the other Castle Wall ones. That's pretty good, I guess. You know, it's as any sure. Defensive, get yourself team. Black Pawn, however, you are bad. Scramble tier. Black Knight. Yeah. Same position. The only thing that's slightly worse compared to those ones is it's got an 85 shot power rather than an 100 one. Is that even on screen? You can't see it. And finally, not finally. No, actually, finally, Black Queen is also more breach rate. Okay, so this is the other one. It's just different model. So we put it into middling. So they updated the design of that dude. But yeah, it has a niche for Black Queen. Awesome. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Look at that. We did a tier list. Here it is. If you want to, I'll zoom back in. I'll like do this manually. So you can look at where everyone is. But like, so yeah, I'll put timestamps occasionally through it because some of them I discussed a lot quicker than others. But yeah, you can see here who we have at the top. Pretty solid use cases. Has a niche, which ends up being the biggest one, middling and pretty bad. So pretty much, unless you're crazy like me and like, oh, I want to use a breach Keshin, you're pretty much sticking to the top two tiers if you want to actually use a Keshin on a team, because once again, hold on, let me. You have these. You have awakenings. You use these until they get nerfed. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. Not really episode. It's kind of an episode because I want to start doing Inazuma 11 tier lists on this channel. That is going to be it for this tier list video. I want to thank you all for either sitting through this or just skipping to the end to see who made it onto what part of the tier list and all. But I will see you all for my next video. I've been Roxy Rascal. I will see you all then. The next one. Bye.